The goal here is to see if we can figure out how long it will last before we can't start our car, which means the medium is probably going to be the right place to be. But let's find out how long this is going to last. Again, we're running in eco mode. Seems to be doing pretty well so far. I suspect this is going to drag into the night. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Bubba's Garage. I hope you guys are having a fabulous day. Guys, if you notice in our previous episode, I kind of mentioned we got the Genesis Off-Road Dual Battery Kit for the 2017 Jeep Wrangler Winter Edition. But today I want to do something a little bit different. Before we jump into that install, today what I want to do is I want to run the factory Jeep Wrangler setup with the factory battery. And I want to run it against our Alpicool CF55 fridge. What I want to find out is how long I can run that fridge on the factory battery setup before I'm unable to start the car. But before we kind of dive into that, we got to take some measurements and kind of get things figured out a little bit first. The CF55, this particular fridge is rated at about 3.5 amps while the compressor is running. So those are some pretty cool numbers. Those work out really well. One thing I need to tell you is on the Jeep Wrangler, on the JK anyway, I'm not really sure about the JL, but the Jeep Wrangler JK that has the factory power outlet in the back, that power outlet is not necessarily hot all the time when the engine or when the key is off. So the way you can change that is there is a fuse underneath the hood. I believe it's the M7 fuse. We're going to take a look at that here in a second. The M7 fuse can be moved from one location to another, and that will change whether or not that power outlet in the back is hot all the time or if it's only hot while the ignition is on. Right now, mine is currently set up to not be hot when the ignition is off. So I'm going to move that fuse so that it is hot all the time. And then once we do that, then we're going to set up and do some tests just to figure out what our numbers are and then see if we can't time this thing. Now, what we are going to do is we're going to set this up in eco mode. That just seems to be the common setup that you're going to want to run in eco mode. We're going to run it that way at high voltage cutoff first, see what our timing is. And then we're going to set it into the medium setting, see what that low voltage cutoff is, what the voltage is, and find out if we can start the vehicle afterwards. And then we'll set it in the low setting and run it all the way down and see if we can start the vehicle after that. And let's see how long that fridge will run on a Jeep Wrangler with a factory battery set up the whole 9 yards. That's what we're going to do right here on Bubba's Garage. But the first thing we need to do is we need to go move that fuse M7 location. So let's go do that. I woke up feeling like this gonna be my day. This here is your M7 fuse. If you'll notice, you got your power terminal here. You just run down. This is your M7. Thing is if it's on this particular side right here, then what that means is the power in the cargo area is only on when you have your car on. So if you just move it slightly over here, now that power outlet will be hot all of the time. I got that popping fire every step I take. Living that wild life, not stopping down no way. Just seeing green lights won't never touch the brakes. Let me tell you something. 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 Got a real good feeling. So we have it set up for high. The battery is currently about 12.3 volts. When we started this, we started off at the fridge was 59 degrees. We set the fridge to 32 degrees to cool down to 32 degrees, primarily because right here in Texas, it's 65 degrees out. And what we want to do is we want to get a real world experience out of this. Now, typically we're going to run the fridge at about 36 degrees, something like about 36 degrees, right, baby? It'll keep your food okay. Now this is not a dual zone fridge. They do make them where they're dual zone. We got the single zone CF55 because we needed to store a lot of stuff, but didn't really care too much for the dual zone option. Now this is Bluetooth, so you can use the Bluetooth app as well to kind of check on your fridge every once in a while. So that's kind of nice. But the goal here today is to find out how long this fridge is going to last on high, and then test our medium and then our low. Now it's been on about an hour, so we have over here looks like it started off at 59 degrees. Compressor was running, it's about 3.5 amps roughly. By the time that it got down to 32 degrees, it took 25 minutes. Again, we have it set to high. High is low voltage cutoff is 12.0. Now we have this in eco mode. Medium will be 11.5, low is 9.0. And at this rate, now you're getting in risky territory about starting your car. The goal here is to see if we can figure out how long it will last before we can't start our car, which means the medium is probably going to be the right place to be. But let's find out how long this is going to last. Again, we're running in eco mode. Seems to be doing pretty well so far. I suspect this is going to drag into the night.
Got a real good feeling, like there is lightning deep in my bones. Got a real good feeling, I won't hit no ceiling. I'm going higher than I've ever known. Got a real good feeling. Right now. Got a real good feeling.
All right, guys, we're currently running on medium. The fridge is 31 degrees and we have about 12.3 volts left on our battery. Honestly, it's running really, really well. At about 1 hour and 18 minutes in, it failed in medium, it failed in high at 12 volts, and we actually had to drop it down to medium. Now, I don't know how accurate this these high, medium, and low settings are. It doesn't feel that it's actually accurate because currently it shows that we're running a 12.3. But when it failed over, we immediately switched it to medium. And it's now, how long is it, babe?
About 3 hours.
So now it's currently running about 3 hours. So that's actually not bad. At medium, I think medium's gonna roll for a really long time. So this video may extend over through the night. And maybe into a few days. I'm not really sure, but definitely stick around right here on Bubba's Garage because we're going to give you an update here in a little while on how this Alpicool CF55 is doing in a factory setup on the Jeep Wrangler. Yeah. It's been about 8 hours, guys. We're going to run out here. Well, it's currently 6:12. Currently 35 degrees and 12.2 volts. It's probably going to last most of the night. That is not bad for an overland adventure. Think about it. You're running about 10 to 12 hours every night. So you're going to, that's actually not bad at all. Well, stick around right here on Bubba's Garage because we're going to give you an update, but that update might actually happen tomorrow.
Turn up another notch, you ain't seen nothing, yo. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Good morning, guys. It's currently 6 a.m. so we're running at about 20 hours right now on the fridge. I just went over and checked. It's a little dark over there, so it's a little hard to show you. But it's been running about 20 hours. We're looking at about 11.8 volts. So at 11.8 volts, the cutoff is 11.5. So we may get another 2 to 4 hours on it. I'm not really sure. Definitely stick around here in just a little bit. To you, it'll probably be like a second. To me, it's probably going to be several hours. And I'll give you an update on how well the fridge is going to work, well, with a factory Jeep battery setup. Side note, just checked out a video from Rizo. If y'all haven't checked that video out, definitely go check it out. I'll leave a link down there in the description for you to check it out. One of the new products that we just released right here on Bubba's Garage, he's got the first set of those. He's running those, he's doing an install, but more importantly, he's also giving a pair of some really cool crab handles from us right here at Bubba's Garage away. So definitely go check it out. I'll touch base with you guys here in a little bit when we know more about how well this fridge is going to do. Now keep in mind, at this point in the game, we're currently set at medium. We're currently set at medium, middle, whatever you want to call it. Once this cuts off, we're going to test and see if we can start the vehicle. And if we can, then we're going to go ahead and set it to low. Obviously, once we get to this point, there's no coming back. You're not going to be able to recover from that. The vehicle is not going to start. But the goal is to see if it will start at this stage in the game. All right, guys, we officially have a failure. Looks like it is 11.6 volts. 11.6 volts. The F1 is the failure. Okay, so it's bouncing between 11.5 and 11.6. Let's see if we can't start this thing up real fast. Yep, survived the trip. Honestly, I kind of expected it to, but it's currently about 10 a.m., which puts us at about 24 hours, which is actually not that bad. Yep, it started. Honestly, I kind of expected it to start. I mean, when you run the battery down to 11.5 volts, and then you go to crank it, you're gonna lose, right at that cranking time, you're gonna lose about another volt. Is that about right?
Volt, yeah.
So you're gonna be down to about 10.5. I kind of expected it to start up just fine, but why not test it anyway? More importantly, I wanted to know how long it was gonna last. It lasted a while.
It did last quite a bit longer than I was expecting.
A lot more than I expected. And keep in mind, this is the Jeep Wrangler 2017 edition with the factory battery. Now, so at this point, it's about 3 years old. So it ran really well. We got all the way up to about 24 hours and 22 minutes before it failed on medium. Medium on this particular fridge is 11.5 volts. Now, keep in mind, that's going to vary.
It will.
It depends on the fridge that you're using and things like that. Now, 24 hours, is that good enough for camping and overlanding and boondocking and things like that?
Overlanding, boondocking, where you're going to be stopped for overnight and then get back in and hit the road again, I think you would probably be okay. But if you're going to be anywhere for a significant period of time, more than 24 hours, it's going to get really touchy.
Especially with the key off, right? I mean, so maybe this, maybe this is not a perfect world scenario test. I totally get that. So please don't bash me in the comments. I totally understand that. This is kind of like an average test. Maybe this test gives you an idea. Now keep in mind, this is the Alpicool CF55 that we were using in this particular test. And it was running about 3.5 amps when the compressor kicked on.
Right.
Value for the money. The Aplicool fridge is definitely worth it. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely check the links there in the description. I'll have some links to that for you.
Now, one thing that I want to note and let everybody know, with this particular fridge, one thing that we noticed was once it failed, the screen, the LCD screen did not go off. And so something to keep in the back of your mind, that even though it's just a little screen, it's still going to be pulling power. It's still going to pull the draw,
right? It's still going to draw power. So if that screen, come on, I mean, we're sitting there monitoring it like every hour, outside of the fact that we were sleeping last night.
Right.
We're monitoring it like every hour just to make sure it's still alive. If you didn't see it fail and that went on for 2, 4, maybe 6 hours, I think you're going to get in danger territory. I really do.
Yeah, it'd be really iffy if you're planning on staying somewhere more than 24 hours and you're not watching it. You could get into some territory where it might not start.
Right. So right here on Bubba's Garage, we just ran this test just to kind of play with things and kind of see where we're at. And the biggest reason for that is because we're going to be pulling that battery out and we're going to be installing the Genesis dual battery kit on the Jeep. And honestly, there's more. We have more plans for that than just powering our fridge. So definitely stick around.
A lot more plans.
If you tow a rig or anything behind you when you go and you overland or any of those kind of trips, then you're probably going to want to stick around to see what this video has in store.
Oh, absolutely.
So guys, if you like this video, do me a favor, give us a huge, huge, huge thumbs up. And if you really like this video and you want to stick around and find out what happens next right here on Bubba's Garage, please subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you on the flip side. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Got a real good